Hello, friends. Steve Stockton here with you. Today, going to take a look at the shadow over New England, the 13 discoveries, and the lingering question of a serial killer. Now, a palpable anxiety has taken root across New England, a region typically known for its quaint towns and vibrant autumns. But since March of 2025, a grim tally has been mounting. 13 bodies discovered in a hauntingly short span across four New England states. This series of tragic and, in many cases, unexplained deaths has ignited a firestorm of public fear and rampant online speculation, all pointing to a single terrifying question. Is a serial killer stalking the historic landscapes of New England? The facts, when laid bare, are undeniably alarming. Beginning in early March of this year, 2025, a steady cadence of grim discoveries began to echo through the region's wooded areas, waterways, and quiet suburban towns. The victims themselves present a disparate collection of lives cut short, a fact that both complicates and fuels the burgeoning serial killer theory. They range in age, gender, and background, a seeming randomness that defies easy categorization. Now, the timeline of these discoveries paints a chilling picture of a region on edge. Again, all these are from 2025. On March 6, the body of Paige Fannin, 35, was found in the Norwalk River in Connecticut. On the same day, a human skull was discovered in the woods near Route 3 in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Then on March 19th, the body of Suzanne Wormser, 58, was found in a suitcase in Groton, Connecticut. Her roommate was subsequently arrested in connection with her death, but died in custody shortly thereafter. Then on March 25, Denise Leary, age 59, was found deceased in New Haven, Connecticut. The next day, March 26, the body of Michelle Romano, 56, was discovered in a wooded area in Foster, Rhode Island. And then, on April 9, unidentified human remains were found in Killingly, Connecticut. On April 20, a body was pulled from the Sincock River in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Then on April 22nd, the body of Megan Meredith, age 45, was found near a bike path in Springfield, Massachusetts. April 27th, two bodies are discovered on the same day, one in the Connecticut River near Rocky Hill, and another in Taunton, Massachusetts. On May 30th, Jasmine Wilkes, 34, was found deceased in Edgewood Park in New Haven, Connecticut. June 1st, as of this recording, the most recent discovery to capture public attention was that of Adriana Suazo, 21 years old, whose body was found in a wooded area in Milton, Massachusetts. Now, while law enforcement has been quick to urge caution and has repeatedly stated there is no forensic evidence linking these cases, the sheer volume and temporal proximity of the discoveries have created a fertile ground for fear to grow. Social media, in particular, has become a hotbed of amateur sleuthing and theory crafting, with online communities dedicated to connecting the dots that the officials say aren't there. In a statement that has been echoed by various departments across the region, the Connecticut State Police addressed the speculation head-on. Quote, "This investigation is in the early stages, is still going on, and there is no information at this time suggesting any connection to similar remains discoveries that CSP or other Connecticut law enforcement agencies are actively looking into." End quote. The Norfolk District Attorney's Office, which is investigating the death of Adriana Suazo, noted that there were, quote, "no obvious signs of trauma," end quote, on her body, and that the cause of death is pending a report from the medical examiner. However, for a public already on high alert, such statements have done little to quell the rising tide of anxiety. The narrative of a potential serial killer has been further fueled by the geographic clustering of the discoveries. While spanning four New England states, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Maine, many of the locations are within a relatively short drive of one another, suggesting a perpetrator with a high degree of mobility and familiarity with the region. Adding to the complexity are the varying conditions in which the bodies have been found. In the case of Susan Wormser, whose body was found in a suitcase, stands in stark contrast to the discovery of Adriana Suazo, whose body reportedly showed no outward signs of violence. Now, this lack of a consistent modus operandi is one of the key factors that has led law enforcement officials and some experts to publicly doubt the serial killer theory. James Allen Fox, a distinguished criminologist at Northeastern University, has been a vocal skeptic of the single perpetrator narrative. In a recent interview, he pointed to the lack of commonality among the victims as a significant deviation from typical serial killer profiles. Quoting here, "Most serial killers have some commonality in their victims," Fox explained. "Usually it's the sex, race, age, or physical features of the victims. That's not always true, of course, but they tend to have a particular preference for the victim type. But in these cases, there are so many dissimilarities." End quote. Now, Fox also noted that some of the deaths may not be the result of the homicide, a point that is often lost in the sensation of the quote-unquote serial killer label. The official causes of death for many of the victims have not even been released, and so therefore it's possible that some are the result of accidents, natural causes, or other means, with the bodies only being discovered due to their remote locations. Despite these expert opinions and official statements, the fear remains a tangible presence in the daily lives of many New Englanders. The story of Adriana Suazo, a vibrant 21-year-old from Boston, has particularly resonated with the public. Her sister, Melanie Pizarro, has become a poignant voice for the families of the victims, expressing a sentiment that is likely shared by many. Quote, "I just want to know the truth about what happened to her. I'm not accusing anyone, but her circumstances are suspicious. She was with someone either when she died or before. My family just wants closure on the events leading up to her death." End quote. The public's apprehension is, in some ways, understandable. New England has a dark history with serial predators, from the Boston Strangler in the 1960s to the Connecticut River Valley Killer in the 80s. These historical precedents, coupled with the current string of unsettling discoveries, have created a psychological landscape where the specter of a modern-day serial killer feels all too real. The role of social media in amplifying these fears cannot be overstated. Online forums and even Facebook groups have become virtual command centers for citizen detectives, where speculation, however unfounded, can quickly morph into widely accepted fact. Now, while these platforms can be valuable tools for sharing information and raising awareness, they can also become echo chambers of misinformation that can hinder official investigations and create unnecessary panic. As it stands, the law enforcement agencies of 4 states are continuing their individual investigation into these 13 deaths. They face the monumental task of not only seeking justice for the deceased and their families, but also managing public perception in an age of instantaneous information and rampant speculation. The question of whether a single sinister hand is behind these tragedies remains unanswered. The evidence, as is currently understood by the public, is a collection of unsettling coincidences and heartbreaking losses. Until definitive links are either established or refuted, we residents of New England are left to grapple with a chilling certainty. We're left to wonder if the shadow that has fallen over this historic corner of the country is the work of a phantom predator or a tragic confluence of unrelated events. For now, the only certainty is the grief of 13 families and the uneasy silence that hangs in the New England air. Thank you for listening. I look forward to your comments. If you see something, say something. Let's bring justice. I'm Steve Stockton, and I'll talk to you next time. Please, tell your animals I said hi.